Okay, Casper, we had Amazon this week with his quarterly figures. What do you think about him?
I'm gonna tell you that later in our item. What's hot?
Okay.
I was surprised positively.
Okay, that's good. Okay.
But what happened?
Yeah, let's start with what happened. I'm going to talk today a little bit about Spain. Not about Spain as a country, but Spanish companies. First of all, we had the IPO of Línea Directa. Went to the stock market yesterday, Thursday. The shares went up at 23%. Came on the market for 132. Price is now around 160, 65. Worth 1.4 billion euros. And the funny thing is that it's the 7th listing after 2000. So there's nearly no new companies on the Spanish stock market. So it's good. They're at least finding the way.
Do you know why that is?
I could think about many reasons, but I can't give you one.
No.
Main priority of Línea Directa in this case is that they want to be, it's one of the insurance giants in Spain. They want to pay out dividends. The target is to pay out 70% of the yearly profit, and on the current share price, that would mean approximately 7% of dividend. So something that you can investigate. It's comparable with companies in the UK, such as CISA and other bigger insurance companies. 20% of the stocks are in hands of the family Botín, which is also the family that owns or is part of Santander, and 17.4% is owned by Bank Inter, also a Spanish bank. So 40% in hands of two Spanish banks.
I think that if you live in Spain, then everybody who lives in Spain knows Línea Directa.
Línea Directa.
I think that with the money they raise, they're not going to put it in extra marketing because their marketing machine is already to the max.
It's very well done, yeah. So staying with Banco Santander, they also presented their figures. Profit 1.6 billion for the first quarter. The stocks went up 3%. Good week also for them. They in total had a price increase of 13.5%. Highest prices since the dip in 2020. Significant improvement of their balance. Cost control is better under control. And important also the target prices from the bigger analysts is saying that the price will be on average 3.33, so $3.33, which is an actual increase of another 4.5%. So not extremely ambitious, but at least they have a more positive outlook on Santander than what we were used to the last couple of years.
What happened? I think on Wednesday, and I found it really interesting, is that of the company that presented their quarterly figures, 88% of the total companies had results better than expected, and on average 34% more profit than expected. And you know, as an investor, the price is connected to the outlook, to the consensus of the market, of the analysts, and if that's so much higher, then it gives a boost, of course, for the whole market, and that's also what you see. Now, that's not completely what you see. You see the good ones are treated in the right way, and the bad ones are, of course,
they're punished.
Yeah, but you also see that it's not, you know, the losses can be like 10% minus for Twitter, for example, yesterday, and Google had really good figures and they only gained 4%. So it's, you know, it's market. You understand where?
No, I completely understand.
Yeah. And then Mary Walsh, the Minister of Labour, announced yesterday that they talked about the labor circumstances for the people that are in the street. So they deliver the products like from food deliverers. And Uber lost on Thursday 6% and DoorDash 8%. It was quite. And I want to talk something about Amazon, how they announced yesterday their new plans about their frontline people in the street.
Yeah, no, it's maybe one of the most important.
So what's hot?
What's hot? Yeah, we stay in Spain. PharmaMar came in the news today. They finally have they're not completely there yet, but they have a medicine against COVID, not a vaccine, a medicine. It's called Aplidin, and they started giving that to 609 people, 103 Spanish people, and the rest in France, Portugal, and Sweden. The stock went up 8%, already gone up a lot, of course, due to the speculation around this stock. Target of this medicine is that a patient within 8 days recovers completely from COVID.
Also, when they announced it, the share price gained 8%.
Yeah.
So it's also not a lot, 8%.
No, it's an extreme. No,
No.
but because it's what you said earlier. It's not that it's a vaccine. It's a medicine, and eventually
Yeah,
it might have a temporary effect.
yeah.
And what is important also is that this they say that the medicine has coincidences with remdesivir, which is the medicine of
Trump,
Gilead,
of Trump.
Yeah, he was talking about it a lot when the pandemic started. And remdesivir is of Gilead Sciences. They have also presented their figures this week. Their profit went up to 1.73 billion. That sounds a lot, but the analysts expected a little bit more. It was $1.37 per share, and the expectations was $2.08. So that's significantly lower than what was expected, and that was due mainly the fact that the World Health Organization said that the medicine remdesivir, or sold as Veklury, is actually not showing any significant proof that it helps people recovering from COVID. It doesn't lower the death rate, and it also doesn't speed up the recovery. Thank you. Yeah, and that might something also that we have to check, of course, with this Uplidin of PharmaMar. But at least I think it's good. Spain is also involved in the race against this terrible situation that we're all still in.
And the funny thing is, our colleague Taco was always saying that. He said, now we talk every day about Trump in the news. Every newspaper front page was about Trump.
Yeah.
And because Biden now, it's the first 100 days are really important this week, the first 100 days, and then they take all kind of comparison between Trump and Biden. But you don't see or hear anything from Trump anymore. It's logical, but he's not the president. But it's so strange with all the information with Trump, and suddenly he's gone.
Yeah, okay. It's like literally here you have the file.
Yeah.
Take over.
Yeah. Okay.
You're fired.
You asked me the question, what happened with what's hot with Amazon?
Yeah. And what do you think about those figures?
Yeah.
Of course, you're not allowed to give your
I
opinion.
think they were fantastic.
Yeah. Okay, so you know that. Huh? Don't do anything with his opinion because it's worth nothing.
No, but
We can't give an opinion.
I want to give you some information about the possibility of a raise, and also the possibility that the stock will go down. And you can make your own opinion. It's not an advice, but it's why was it good? Because it was better than expected.
Yeah.
And to give you some highlights, they reported over the Q1 2021 $108.5 billion of revenues. 108. Out of the 108.5, 13.5 were coming from their Amazon services like the cloud. So a lot of people know that the cloud is really important not from a revenue side, because it's only 13.5 from the 100.8. But if you look at the operation income, they made a total of 8.9 billion, and out of the 8.9 billion, 4.2 billion was generated through the Amazon Web Services, so the cloud services. So they're not making a lot of revenues, but the profit margin is really high on that. And then we can of course look further to analyze it. We're not going to do that today. And if you look at the consensus, what did the analysts thought about the EPS? That was expected at $9.54, and it was $15.79. So that was really much higher. And the outlook for this year is between 24 and 30% more revenue. So also the outlook for this year is fantastic. Yeah. After market, the price only gained 2.5%. So
it's not much, huh?
Yeah. And if you look at the chart, I have the chart in front of me. Maybe we put the chart also in front of you in the screen. Yeah. And it's also not the chart that you see with a lot of tech giants. So that's at the highest level, and it grew a lot in the last months. Even it's now Friday, the market is not open. But the closing price of yesterday was not even the highest point. The highest point was the 1st of September of 2020. So probably when it opened, it's around or a little bit higher. So it's not, it's not a stock that it's already there. So it's a little bit moving. It's on a high level, but it's have a look at it. And if you look at the price earnings, I think it's always important from an investment point of view to look at it. And that are the figures without the new quarterly figures in there. But if you look at the profit per share, if you pay 72 times the profit for this year, and it will go down if they can, of course, increase the
Continue.
profits
Yeah.
to 38 times in 2 years. And then you can decide for yourself, is that still expensive? If you
Yeah.
compare that to a Tesla, it's nothing.
No.
If you compare it to Volkswagen, it's a lot. So you have to make
Yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah.
But it's a really important fix, and I think they show that they can grow. Okay, the risk is, of course, after the pandemic, people, if they spend a certain amount on a monthly basis, are they big chunk that they're now spending on Amazon going to spend through the normal
Yeah.
retail shops in the
Yeah.
streets? Of course, they are so big, especially in certain countries. Are they going to be split up from regulators? Are they say you're too big, you have to split up your cloud services in your retail business, or you are not allowed to be a big part in that region with your retail. Taxes is also, of course, really important for them. Region taxes and competitors, where we talked about a couple of months about DoorDash. They can change their business model from only food delivery to also other retail products. And I think it was also interesting what they announced is about the frontline people, the people that deliver all the products. They announced that they get a pay raise of between $50 and $3 per hour.
Wow, that's great.
And that's going to be around $15 then in the US, and $50 is double the minimum wage. So, and that investment is going to cost them directly $1 billion. And they said that last year they also raised, and also the not only the wages, but also the circumstances for them.
Circumstances in general, yeah.
That they invested already $2.5 billion in it. So I think it's also quite smart how they do it. They pronounce good figures, and they say part of it we give back to the people.
Absolutely.
That bring you the
Absolutely.
good every day. Of course,
Yeah,
it's,
that's also like it's going to the US, of course, but it's possible.
yeah. So they do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was quite impressed, and not only me. I
Many
hope
of our
you-
clients as well, yeah.
Yeah. So interesting.
What's next?
Interesting to follow. What's next? Martin?
What's next? Okay, so we start with Mother's Day on Sunday here in Spain, so be prepared, don't forget it. And then, of course, next week also a complete week of company figures. In the Netherlands, we got ING, largest bank. We have Pfizer, interesting to see how they are benefiting from the vaccines that they are selling. American Express, PayPal, Booking, also interesting to see how they are surviving. And then macro-wise, we got some, the generic stuff. We have factory orders, we have unemployment figures, and retail sales in the European Union. So things that could move the market.
Definitely.
Yeah.
How were the Oscars?
Yeah, you asked me. I don't know. I didn't watch it. You watched it, no?
Okay.
Cameraman, did you watch it? No.
Not as busy as last week, but also a busy
Yeah,
week.
very busy week.
So if you have a stock and portfolio, be aware when they come with figures,
Yeah.
because it always
it.
will influence the share price.
Absolutely.
Thank you for watching. If you like it, give yourself a thumb up. If you don't like it, also do it. Thank you, and hope to see you next week.
See you then.